What's good, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. I'm Nadeska here with Akademiks and Wayno. I was going to start the show by asking if you guys feel happy for LeBron and the big Lakers win last night, but there was a little bit of hostility in your exchanges before we started rolling. What's up with you guys?
Oh, no, there's no hostility. Listen, man, I had to just, because the bandwagon fans be jumping out of here. Everybody got like a Lakers jersey under the last jersey they've been rooting for the last couple years. So I just checked to make sure Wayno was on this bandwagon all along. You get me? And again, then he started telling me how hard it was to be a Lakers fan in the last 20 years. And I'm like, this guy, man.
No, what Akademiks wanted to do is he wanted to say, oh, if you wasn't a fan in 2015 and it was tougher times being a Laker fan than 2015. So I didn't.
Lakers fans turned into Warriors fans then, bro.
Nah, I ain't turning into a Warriors fan. I'm a Laker fan. I wasn't the most thrilled when LeBron came to the team. That's how much we didn't like him over his whole past career. So no, LeBron handed the Lakers a lot of Christmas L's. So no.
Listen, man, for any of Wayno's friends and associates, when he's bragging about his Lakers win, just rest assured his credentials of being a Lakers fans are still under investigation.
They'll be in your mentions, Akademiks. They'll be in your mentions. Trust and believe.
We'll come back with a ruling.
Okay, so you guys are happy for LeBron or not?
Oh, I'm super happy for LeBron. I'm not a fan of, my favorite player of all time was Allen Iverson. I've never been too much of a fan of a team because I follow the player wherever he goes. LeBron, while he ain't my favorite, I do admire and I love seeing greatness. And to be honest, I root for him just personally. While I think he came in with mad pressure in the beginning of his career, and to this day, even though some people say he's a little bit too old, he's over the hill, he still gets it done. I just think it's a testament to just what greatness is. I love watching it.
Akademiks should not be talking about no basketball. He's talking about I'm an Allen Iverson fan. Dog, get out the past. What's going on today? What team you ain't got no team right now?
No, I don't.
Right, so believe you can't talk.
Yo, by the way, last night was hold on. Let's get out of the past. Last night was they did it for Kobe. We can't get out of the past. Listen, the past really affects the present. Listen, NBA is a different type of sport other than NFL and other sports where you just root for a team. As a kid, you grow up watching probably one guy. The rest of the bums on the team are just supporting your favorite player. Come on, Wayno, that's not true. Now, I'm not gonna lie.
76ers they had one successful year in the past 20 years.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for the Sixers. Fuck out of here. I'm rooting for AI. But anyway, these days my favorite player is Lillard. But I do like LeBron.
Okay.
I got love for Dame, so I ain't got nothing bad. I love for Dame.
You too. Well, look, it's good they made it through the season. Remember, Wayno started taking COVID really seriously once they suspended the games. Before that, he thought the show wasn't going to be a problem at all. So it's nice that they finished it out.
Please don't remind me of that ignorant time with myself, please.
No, I mean, look, there's no way any of us could have known. That was really early. That was March or April, but things worked out.
We got to keep in mind, again, this is another indictment on Wayno's fandom for being a Lakers
indictment?
fan.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Listen, man. Wayno took a red eye or whatever the case is from L.A. to New York that he could do the show this morning. He skipped out on all the post-championship celebration, riots and all that. Come on, man. A true fan, he's going to riot, go to jail, and come back and still do the show.
No, man. I need my Sundays is Wayno rest days, so I needed my Sunday. I was hoping that we was going to win on Friday, but we lost. So that was, whatever.
Wayno rest days.
You in the parade or not?
Nah, I ain't going back out there. I mean,
yo, does COVID exist? Does COVID exist? Because I've seen a lot of people. They might as well just have the games outdoors.
Come on, let's not try to have a Mike Pence-esque conversation if COVID exists or not. I don't want to be old. I don't want to go with it.
Okay, we could just jump into the show. I guess that's also an option. So, Wayno, a couple weeks ago when you were out, we talked about the Tory Lanez Project Daystar, him defending himself against, it seems like impending charges. So, according to TMZ, he's facing multiple felony charges in the shooting incident involving Megan Thee Stallion back in July. So, the charges include assault with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and plus a charge that he inflicted great bodily injury. So he could face a possible maximum sentence of up to 22 years and 8 months. He addressed this on Twitter saying, "Time will tell and the truth will come to the light." He said, "I have all faith in God to show that. Love to my fans and people who have stayed true to me and know my heart. A charge is not a conviction, and if you supported me or Meg through this, I genuinely appreciate you." His lawyer also responded to the allegations saying, this is a quote, "The victim," also in quotes, "doesn't appear to be seriously injured since I saw her on Saturday Night Live last week." So what do you think about this? Wayno, you haven't had a chance to weigh in on the album or anything.
Yo, you know it's crazy. Like, all right, so with the whole album thing, I thought that he should have just stayed quiet. You know, I felt like he should have just stayed quiet. That he should have just stayed out the way. This is kind of really turned into, we going through a debate between presidents, but this has been like the real debate in hip hop right now. Like, is Meg lying or is Tory telling the truth or vice versa? I think that like Tory's biggest problem is that he tried to fight the internet the same way Meg did. You know how we talked about Meg having pressure because people was joking on her or people was saying shit about her. And she went on and said what she said. Now Tory, not only was he fighting the internet, but shit, I know that man probably got a lot of bills, so that's why he really put out an album. But now that he's charged, after Tory put out the album, I was like, being honest, I kind of don't know who to believe. Not saying that it's not.
Did you like the project?
Did I like it? I mean, yeah, I listened to. I didn't listen to it in its whole entirety. I listened to a few songs here or there. It's good music, but at the same time, it's like I'm just like, yo, what did you put out any music for? That's just my own personal opinion. Like, we never questioned if Tory is good or not, but it's just so many songs. He's not he never once apologized. You know what I'm saying? Like, he never once said, I'm sorry. He's kind of alluding to missing a woman on certain records, which I would think would be Megan. But it just, to me, I think that his timing was just absolutely wrong. I think like right now is such a sensitive time with everything that's going on, not in music, but just the world. And for him to put an album out, it was cool for his core fan base, but for, the perception, it was like he didn't really give a fuck about the situation. And not saying that he doesn't, but it just seems that way. So, I mean, this is just an unfortunate situation all the way around, but he should have never put out no music, in my opinion.
Yeah. The word that comes, like, again, if first of all, if I'm a Tory's PR like personnel, I would expect that today I'm getting fired. You know what I mean? If I haven't been fired already, just a lot of bad PR moves. Okay, I guess, and he's trying to fight this in the media, but these are just bad moves. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, first of all, his statement, God got to be sending a lot of these messages to spam, because anytime niggas like Tory get in trouble, if you hear Tory on the album, I've never heard him rap this much about God. God got my back. God got this. Also, I've never heard Tory be this like pro-black. He said, like, he had a few songs where the theme is, they're out to cancel us black men, and black men we're under attack, and black people, we got to come together, and we love black women, like, black people, let's stand in solidarity. Never heard really those themes be this, apparent from Tory. So it was interesting to kind of hear that angle. I don't think that's going to be working at all. I think people are really just trying to know and figure out, did you shoot her, bro? Like, if you ain't shoot her, we ain't got too much to talk about. But if you did shoot her, whatever. Now, the big word that if he is going to have a PR team, they got to learn is empathy. Okay, I get it. You know what I mean? You basically said that Roc Nation and Meg, they're trying to frame you. They lied on you. Pretty much the album is a victim, like, let's reposition who's actually the victim. And in reality, if Tory was lied upon, Tory is the victim, right? If Meg lied on Tory, Tory would be a victim. Now, again, it's up to everybody to pick who you want to believe at this point. But I do think one thing that's not in question is that Meg was hurt somewhat, whether it's by Tory or somebody else. The lack of empathy doesn't look good. You get me? Even the statement that says, salute to all the fans, whether you support me or the chick that said I shot her. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like, some of these things you could go without. Listen, again, apologizing doesn't mean you're saying you did it. I do think, given the public details about that night, I do think Tory could have some empathy. And maybe he doesn't have to be apologized at this point, but at least be like, listen, I understand that you went through a very traumatic situation. I understand you're going through a lot of pain and hurt. And if I'm going to stick true to a lot of the protect black women stuff, while I don't think I should be vilified at this point, or I think I'm innocent overall, I could still have a lot of empathy for you, and I apologize for that. But I don't think Tory's on. I think this album was definitely it was just an attack on all the people who doubted him.
It was just really, really bad timing. Like, it's the album is just such bad timing, and the thing about it is it's kind of turned into like a full on campaign for them both. Ironically, you know what I mean? It's like, pick one, who you down with, and ultimately, I feel like if I was innocent, if I knew that this was a case that I could beat, or my lawyers telling me I could beat, I'd have shut up. Because now it's like, man, like, when he does go to court, Because he's supposed to go to court like this week, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the trial isn't going to start this week, but when he does, go to court and everything.
They're definitely going to take him into custody because they have to arraign him on these new charges.
Yeah, they got to arraign him. Yeah, exactly.
And that brings up other issues because, again, he still is not a permanent, resident of the United States. He's not a citizen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like this whole thing with Tory, I'm really watching it, and I am now in firm belief that he thought charges would never come. It's the only reason why you would release an album like that. You basically stuck your middle finger up at not only the haters and doubters, but if it was already said that the DA office is mulling over possible charges, but they didn't bring them for like 3 months, maybe you got so confident thinking they wouldn't bring them or there wasn't a case at all, right? I think that album really put an extra fire underneath the DA's office to say, yo, hey, fuck who won't cooperate, fuck who won't give this statement. We gonna have to charge this guy because he just made an album basically gloating over the fact that he ain't charged. So again, we'll find out more details then, but I do think that these charges are probably the consequence of him dropping that album.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll stay tuned for updates. Guys, a couple weeks ago, we started this conversation about Kanye railing against the label, saying he wants to look through every artist contract and help them fix it. Of course, Big Sean was one of the first people to volunteer, which also makes sense because he was signed with Kanye. So on a new Benny the Butcher record called Timeless, which features Lil Wayne and Sean, this is the most explicit we've heard Big Sean talk about his label issues, saying, quote, signed a slave deal, but now he's up owning his masters. Watch me turn good into great. So at least it sounds like things are going better now. He also revealed on Fat Joe's show that he only got a $15,000 advance for signing to Good Music, saying at the time that since he wasn't a proven artist with such a big fan base or a big single, the advance wasn't that much. Any surprises for you guys here?
No, I want to know, what do you view Kanye at post him coming out saying that he was going to do all these things and he's dropping all these contracts and now all of a sudden that he said all of this, it seems like his house is dirty as well. Without the label, like let's not even bring Def Jam into this. Let's just talk about what he's done with Sean's career. Where does that put him with you?
It would kind of sour the feeling of what he's trying to like fight for, which seems a little bit holistic at times, but he did offer and he's giving back the masters. You get me now?
You can't punch me in my mouth and then kiss me later. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't do that.
Yeah, but again, he seems to be the best out of all the evils that we all know in the industry. At least he's giving the shit back. Yo, for a fact. Again, we just have to give him a little bit of credit. Again, number one, through all the renegotiations, same how we blame Kanye, right? Where a lot of people say, yo, listen, you renegotiated with Def Jam mad times to re-up in a deal. If you cared about your masters then, you could have got your masters most likely, yet you chose for the bigger bag. That's just the trade-off you make. Now you want your masters. Now when your master's worth so much now, you just want to get it straight up. Again, could we say the same thing about Big Sean? Do we think Big Sean is still on that first contract? Do we think there hasn't been any like amendments? Could we say that if Big Sean cared this much about his deal or his masters?
But do you think he had as much leverage as Kanye did, even if he did renegotiate with Def Jam?
I think so.
Really?
I think Big Sean is just tired of this shit. I think he's at the fucking point. I don't care what nobody think. I think he's at the fucking point because like when he was on the thing with Fat Joe, he started out by saying, "Nah, I'm not going to say how much my advance was," and then he eventually said it. Like, but it just makes me look at what Designer was saying when he was going through his shit. And everybody was looking at Designer like he was crazy because he was saying that he wanted to leave Good Music. And everybody was saying like, he's... What?
No, go ahead. No, continue.
No, it's making me look at that because when Designer came out and he was saying whatever Kanye was putting through or whatever he was going through business-wise, everybody's looking at Designer like he was crazy. And then now for Big Sean to say it, I just think that most people are going to hold back on what they possibly say about Kanye.
Yeah, I think those are two different situations, like just completely non-relatable. Like, first of all, we're talking about Big Sean where, as Nadeska asked about leverage, Big Sean definitely had he's one of the lead artists, at least on the Good Music roster, in terms of, performance and just how they're seeing the culture. Designer's issue didn't even seem contractual, at least at first, but when everything was good. It seemed like it was more on a creative level, right? Like, it seemed like, of course, he was a young artist who, in that 2016, 2017 era, should have been out on a playground playing with the kids, except Good Music kind of kept him in like an incubation and also was treating him like an artist that he probably wasn't. That is creative shit, right?
But
the contract only matters when you're pretty much shelved and your career's in limbo. Now the label is looking at you like, what are you worth to us for us just to let you go? Because it's like, again, what I would say with the Masters thing, in business, when it comes to music, people just don't say, oh, that's the right thing to do, let him go. Or, oh, Big Sean's crying over his masters, take your masters back. No, nigga, you better cough up some cash.
I'm pretty sure that Designer, who, when Kanye said what he said, tweeted at Kanye as well, owns a big chunk. While Designer might have not been the marquee Good Music artist, he has one of the biggest records in Good Music history. So, I'm pretty sure Kanye owns a very high lion share of that. So, I'm just saying.
As any label would, Wayno.
Oh, but now it's as any label would. No, wait a second on Akademiks.
All right.
When we're having the conversation of, the label, they're gonna want to recoup, they're gonna want to do that. You're always against the label as to, but it's his shit. It's their IP. It's it's their music. Why are they taking such a big chunk? It's that now because we're talking about Kanye doing it. It's not that when we're talking about it any other day though. From your side, I'm just saying. No.
It's the same discussion. I understand the game of a label wanting to own a percentage of your masters or own your masters at least at first. Again, my thing is, as time goes on, as you build up leverage, you should be able to renegotiate that you get your masters returned to you, or you could somehow be compensated in a way where it's fair. Again, Designer, an artist who we could possibly say didn't really make it through one full solid project. You know what I mean? I know the EP came afterwards, but still, he wasn't on like his second album or nothing like that. For you to even think that he should have owned any of that publishing when it comes to that publishing was just like his master.
It's not about what I think. It's about the discussion we have every day. And Nadeska, Akademiks is sounding like a nigga that works at a label now.
No, I'm not. No, hold on. Yo. My whole point is that Kanye, listen. Nobody said Kanye's better than all these other labels, right? I'm just saying, give the nigga at least a little bit of a credit, because when he was publicly shamed to say you're a hypocrite, you know what he could have done? He could have went to everybody and said, yo, everybody give me $5 million and I'll give y'all your masters back. He didn't say that. He said, I'm giving y'all back free of charge. You can't go to no Universal.
Now when everything's in public. That's what I'm saying. It's just
everything's in public when people call out Atlantic Records. Do you think Atlantic Records said, oh man, Waka Flocka was calling him out for what? Do you think they said, oh man, Waka Flocka's upset publicly?
Nobody don't know. It don't matter when people get called out, because people don't know the face of the labels. I'm talking about Kanye. We ain't talking about everybody.
But that's what I'm saying. Why are we not giving him a little credit for him just giving it back for free? Like no label's giving it back for free.
All right. Well, you've given him a lot of credit, which is good in the past couple weeks. All right. So a couple more quick stories before we go today. Academics, this one
Wayno is a label plant. Okay.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. It just sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, man.
All right. This one is about impact. So the Wall Street Journal reported last week that sales at McDonald's rose 4.6% in July, August, and September when they're comparing that to the same period last year. McDonald's attributes this big growth to its partnership with Travis Scott. Academics, what are your thoughts on this?
Shit. I think that's dope. I think that's a true show of how influential Travis Scott is. Shit, if I'm Travis Scott, again, even though I am critical of a lot of these moves, which I feel like, I keep saying lifestyle the cool shit. If a company like McDonald's, which I don't know off the top of my head what their overall gross is yearly, if they said that you're, at least for even a month or even a quarter, 4% increase, I'm taking that to the bank. I'm sticking up every big corporation. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to collect the bag. But, you know what I mean? Still, I still try to be grounded a little bit and look at a lot of stuff from music point of view. But just in a business sense, you can't fault this man at all, truthfully. Even though I do think that, he should also probably use that data to realize that his influence and probably even his money could be definitely exponentially grown by doing some shit where he's not endorsing, but he actually owns. But
you know that's what I was about to say. You know, a lot of the viewers is gonna be like, but like they should give Travis ownership within McDonald's, like, or they should give Travis like ownership with him, or does he own his mill? Like, you know, it's gonna be a bunch of people saying that. But nah, I mean, honestly, like this is really dope. But I'm thinking kind of like what Ak is thinking. Where shit, I mean, where's Astro Burger? You know what I'm saying? Like because
that shit will go crazy.
Nah, it definitely.
You better trademark that name.
Nah, for real, like it definitely would. I mean, the thing about it is like hip hop has always been, you know, the most influential genre of music, and we get a lot of love for it, but we don't get a lot of the power from it that we should have, and that just goes to show you when a kid like Travis, who grew up eating McDonald's, could come in there 20 something years later and boost your sales, how important hip hop culture is. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Travis.
I don't want to completely open up a side discussion here, but like, I guess question for thought, because I've kind of always debated this. I've always said that one of the differences between my GOAT and your GOAT, which is Orbs for me, and I'm clearly Jay-Z for you, is that Jay, his impact was definitely much more than music. Like whatever business avenues he got into, or even just style shit, you know, just fashion, like he was able to change the landscape of shit. Drake, while being wildly popular, I've kind of still limited his influence to mostly in music. And I look at what Travis Scott did, and I'm thinking, do you feel Travis Scott, like just on an influence level, might be just way more influential than Drake? Because I used to have that conversation with Kanye and Drake, and outside of music, I say Kanye got a hands down.
Because just keep in mind, when we had Master P on the show a few weeks back, I feel like the whole episode was him talking about, you know, the strength of your brand and how important it is to own a product, because that outlives your career. So I think, yeah, to your point, when you think about someone like Jay, he has products. Someone like Diddy has products, but Drake had like the whiskey or something, but we haven't heard more. But anyway, Wayno.
Well, I think that Drake, I think what Drake has done really well is like branding his company. I think that he's branded the company OVO well, but I think that a lot of kids, while they might love his music, they don't want to like be exactly like him. Like, you know, with Travis, like when you talk about Jay, any hat he wore, any shirt he put on, everybody wanted to dress like that. Like he had a bunch of people kicking themselves in the ass because he switched from jerseys to button-ups, and then the only way you could get in a club at that time is if you had a button-up, where for years it was jerseys, but he was influential in the jerseys too. I think that Drake has probably had that, because I honestly don't know what's going on in Toronto. I'm pretty sure it's probably kids up there that can say that he's influenced them highly as far as style and all of that, but like here, I think that his fans here just really love his music more than they love everything else about it. And I think that's my fault. Go ahead.
Oh no, I always thought that was super interesting. I even said, listen, like popularity doesn't always equate to like influence. Like for example, if A$AP Rocky, who's way less popular than Drake, wore some shit, that shit would probably influence people to go buy it, or people to be like, yo, that's cool, then Drake wore it. But you know what I mean? And I think Drake, Travis fits kind of both, where he's super popular, but he's super influential, not only in just like fashion, but just in everything just outside the culture that just makes people think cool.
I mean, I just think it's because people never really viewed Drake as being a fly dude. You know what I mean? Like, not to shun him or nothing, but I don't think people really viewed him like that. Like, people really loved and respected his music and just that for so long. It wasn't like, how long did it take before we started seeing him, like, start putting out, like, the OVO product? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then by that time, it was kind of catching up to him. It didn't start all at once. With Travis, like, I think the whole idea, the cactus shit and all of that, it ran concurrent with him the whole entire time. Like, he always had that within his brand. Be like, well, I don't think that he's a better music artist than Drake. I think that he is way more influential as far as like everything else, like how he dresses, his product. It goes a little bit more.
Tell me if you agree with this, and we can move on. I always said that like the reason why someone like Rocky, or even like, you know, Jay to a certain extent, why they're so influential on music is because they're also selling a lifestyle. Drake is selling more like feelings and moods. You get me? Like his music is more of, it's not just the lifestyle. It's more of like some non-tangible stuff of just like how your mind works and like how your heart feels, truth be told. That's just
Yeah,
how
I
I'm
agree
kind of
there.
simplifying.
I agree there because I feel like when you say like the lifestyle and all that, I feel like he figured out the lifestyle which once he like really got his shot like within it. I don't think it was like if you go back and you look, you could see him wearing like white Timbs and shit. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like you can. It's like he was figuring out. He would never do that today. Like I don't think he would ever do a lot of the shit that he did before today, as far as like his lifestyle. But I think he figured out along the way. But it's more about the mood and the feeling and the music.
Yeah, like Cash Money, like Birdman. Remember, just Cash Money with they had like 1 million cars. That was selling lifestyle.
Yeah,
I think
like
Drake, I don't think Drake does that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still curious to see, though, if he makes his transition back into film. Last story for you guys today. During a recent interview with Power 106, Sway Lee said he'd be down for a Rae Sremmurd versus Migos battle on Verzuz. He said he thinks it's going to be a tough one since they have so many hits and a great catalog, but Migos also has a solid catalog. Mike Will chimed in. He would also like to see this battle happen. Do you guys think this would be a good matchup if the Migos would agree?
I think it would be a good matchup, but I can't tell you the last time I seen all three of them in the same room. You know what I mean? Like, well, I think it would be a good matchup. I think that Rae Sremmurd, while Sway Lee does get most of the credit, they're very underrated in the fact of them being a group and the type of music that they made. I think a lot of people thought that when they made No Flex Zone, it was going to be one hit wonders, including myself. I didn't think that they were not to say that they weren't talented. I just didn't see the vision the first time I heard the records, but they definitely could hold their own. You know, they definitely got shit big, really, really major, massive music. So does the Migos. So that would be dope, and it'll be very memeable. It'll be very memeable.
Michael, I know you're watching this, so don't get mad at me. I'm just spitting facts. This is all gonna hinge on are features allowed. And by the way, I would imagine Sway Lee would want features to be allowed because he, like, again, a hit for a 20 for 20. You want Unforgettable up in there. That's kind of your record, but really it's French's, right? Now, here's the thing. Not only do I think there's a strong 10 to 15 just hood joints from the Migos that I don't know how the fuck you gonna beat Fight Night. I don't know how you gonna beat Hannah Montana. I don't know how you gonna beat like Handsome and Wealthy. I don't know how you gonna beat some of these songs. These songs is like really, they were going crazy. Okay? Now, by the way, and this is no slight to Rae Sremmurd, but I do think that even all three of the Migos and them branching out and, doing records with other people. Quavo did a whole tape with Travis Scott. Quavo and Thug have had a bunch of collabs. Takeoff has done it. So I think it might sway in, no pun intended, sway in the favor of the Migos. But I do think when we do look at the biggest songs, other than Bad and Bougie, Rae Sremmurd probably have 3 over the Migos. Just in the biggest songs. But the length of the catalog, Migos is, if it's 10 for 10,
no, I got the Migos. Ultimately, when it all goes down to, because like you know, what a good point you brought up is like when you factor in all the other shit, like when you put in Emmitt Smith.
That's what I said.
Like the songs that people might not even know, that's still big songs. Like when you start factoring those, that's when you start to change the whole conversation.
Yeah. Migos, who they say, you better come listen to some of this music. Talking about we nearing beat on the clock. You tweaking. The Migos, their catalog is definitely like I think it's just way longer than Rae Sremmurd's, if you ask me.
That would be a really good lead up to dropping new music though from the Migos.
From both of them. And by the way, to be fair, I gotta throw in Black Beatles, No Type, shit.
And Donald Trump. Donald Trump. I throw that in there.
Yeah, I'm missing out a bunch of records from Rae Sremmurd, but they're definitely no slouch. But both to me, 2 legendary groups.
Swang, you got those Swang in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no. Now they got a lot of records.
Throw some more. Got to throw some more in there. Mm-hmm. Of course.
All right. Well, guys, that is our show for today. Thank you for sending so many fan questions. We'll get into some of those on tomorrow's episode. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Send us more things. We're on Twitter at Everyday Struggle with 2 G's. Thank you for watching Everyday Struggle. We'll see you tomorrow on Complex.
I know this is after we wrap, but could Sway Lee play sicko mode? He's technically on it.
Oh my! All right, peace, y'all.